Today we learn something about hyponatremia. Channel's name is Heartbeat. My name is Dr. Amrit Kejriwal. So hyponatremia is said to be present when plasma sodium concentration is less than 135 milliequivalents per liter. It occurs in 20 to 25% of admitted patients. Occurs with increased AVP or increased renal sensitivity to AVP. AVP is arginine vasopressin. Levels of about 125 to 135 milliequivalent per liter may correct without supplemental sodium after taking care of the underlying cause. This is done to prevent overcorrection. Now when a patient comes to us, we have to assess the volume status. Depending upon the volume status, the patient may be classified upon hypovolumic, euvolumic or hypervolumic with hyponatremia. So in hypovolumic, total body water is marginally reduced, whether total body sodium is markedly decreased. Euvolumic, total body water is increased and total body sodium is almost the same, and in hypervolumic the total body water is markedly increased, whereas the total body sodium is also increased but not in proportion to total body water. Apart from this, there is another cause of hyponatremia which is due to low solute intake called beer potomania. Now coming to hypovolumic hyponatremia. Hypovolemia stimulates the neurohormonal responses. So this causes increase in the secretion of AVP. So with hypovolemia, total body water is decreased and total body sodium is markedly decreased. You do the urinary sodium, it may be greater than 20 or less than 20. Both of these two have different causes. So urinary sodium greater than 20 can be seen in renal losses, diuretic excess, mineralocorticoid deficiency, salt losing deficiency, bicarbonate with renal tubular acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, ketonuria, osmotic diuresis, cerebral salt wasting syndrome. If the urinary sodium is less than 20, there is got various causes such as extrarenal losses, such as vomiting, diarrhea, third spacing of fluids, burns, pancreatitis and trauma. Euvolumic hyponatremia. SIAD is the most frequent cause. Apart from that, there are other causes of euvolumic hyponatremia. It may occur in secondary adrenal insufficiency. It may occur in moderate to severe hypothyroidism. Euvolemia, total body water, total body sodium is almost the same and urinary sodium is greater than 20 always. So this can be seen in glucocorticoid deficiency, hypothyroidism, stress, drugs and SIAD. There are various causes of SIAD such as pulmonary causes, CNS causes, malignant causes, medications and others. Hypervolumic hyponatremia. Sodium chloride increases. Total body water also increases. Water increases more than sodium chloride, so the patient is relatively hyponatremic. So in a patient having hypervolemia, the total body water increases markedly, total body sodium increases marginally. Again, it can be classified in causes having urinary sodium greater than 20 and those having less than 20. So coming to those causes of greater than 20, they can be acute or chronic renal failure, and less than 20 can be seen in nephrotic syndrome, cirrhosis or cardiac failure. Hyponatremia due to solute deficiency, which I have mentioned earlier, seen in patients who consume only beer, called beer potomania. They have a low intake of solutes and they mainly sustain themselves on beer. There are various causes of acute hyponatremia. They can be iatrogenic, they can be thiazide diuretics, polydipsia, 3,4-methylene dioxymethamphetamine, exercise induced, and they can be multifactorial and thiazide polydipsia. Coming to the iatrogenic causes, again there can be various causes of iatrogenic, can be seen in post-operative or hypotonic fluids which cause increased secretion of vasopressin, glycine irrigation seen in TURP or uterine surgery, and while preparation for colonoscopy. So these are the iatrogenic causes of acute hyponatremia, and these are some of the other causes of acute hyponatremia. Coming to the clinical features, they induces cellular swelling, water moves from the extracellular fluid to the intracellular fluid, Predominant symptoms are neurological and causes acute cerebral edema. Clinical features can be divided in two types, acute or chronic, depending upon the presentation. Coming to the symptoms of acute hyponatremia, early symptoms include nausea, vomiting and headache. Confusion, seizures, brainstem herniation, coma can be seen later on. It may cause respiratory failure with or without increase in carbon dioxide. Symptoms of chronic hyponatremia are due to efflux of organic osmolytes from brain cells. These reduce the intercellular osmolality, and the osmotic gradient favors the entry of water into the cells. So, continuing the symptoms of chronic hyponatremia, plasma sodium concentration is below 125 milliequivalents per liter. Nausea, vomiting and gait disturbances may be seen. There may be confusion and cognitive impairment, and chronic hyponatremia increases the risk of bone fractures. Coming to the history, you have to approach underlying cause, drug history and see the volume status. So, if the patient is having burns or diuretic use, we can see this drug history, volume status, see the hypovolemia, euvolemia or hypervolemia. Coming to the lab investigations, rule out pseudohyponatremia. Pseudohyponatremia can be seen in hyperlipidemia or hyperproteinemia. False readings will come. Increased BUN serum creatinine is suggestive of renal dysfunction. Hyperkalemia is suggestive of adrenal insufficiency or hypoaldosteronism. Hyperglycemia with hyponatremia may be present. 100 mg of sugar, increase in sugar, add 1.6 mg per deciliter to serum sodium, and is only applicable if sugar is greater than 400 mg per deciliter. Coming to urinary electrolytes, urinary sodium, role of urinary sodium has already been mentioned. So, in hypovolemic hyponatremia, urinary sodium concentration is less than 20 to 30 millimoles in absence of fluid retention conditions such as congestive heart failure. Patients with SIAD excrete urinary sodium, urine with a sodium greater than 30 millimoles, and exception to this is a patient on thiazide diuretics. Coming to urine osmolality, a urinary osmolality greater than 400 milliosmoles indicates that AVP is in excess, so could be hypovolemic, and a urinary osmolality less than 100 milliosmoles is suggestive of polydipsia. There are other investigations that may be required in patients of hyponatremia. So, you may require an assessment of pituitary, adrenal and thyroid gland functions. CT chest of brain and abdomen may be required. MRI of the brain and abdomen may be required. SIAD patients will be hypouricemic, whereas volume depleted patients will be hyperuricemic. Coming to the principles of acute hyponatremia and chronic hyponatremia. Acute hyponatremia patients have headache, nausea, and or vomiting, seizures, altered sensorium and central herniation may occur. In chronic hyponatremia, symptoms are present but they are less in intensity. Correction is to be done very slowly to avoid osmotic demyelination syndrome. I will discuss osmotic demyelination syndrome later in this video. We have to remove the underlying cause, such as patients may have SIAD, hypothyroidism or secondary adrenal insufficiency. So, if we treat this, hyponatremia can be treated. The response varies from person to person. So, we have to monitor the plasma sodium frequently. Hypovolemic hyponatremia usually responds to intravenous infusion of normal saline. Hypervolemic hyponatremia due to congestive heart failure, etc., corrects after treating the underlying cause. and Beer potomania responds to intravenous fluid with resumption of normal diet. Water deprivation and restriction is a basic part of the management of hyponatremic patients, especially hypervolumic. May require to limit water to 500 to 1000 ml per day. In hypokalemic patients, correction of potassium may rectify serum sodium, and oral sodium tablets may be used. Additional treatment: if there is a failure of water restriction and this does not correct hyponatremia, then we can use furosemide. 20 milligrams IV twice daily is the recommended dose, or the patients may require dimeclocycline. Vaptans is a relatively newer group of drugs. These can also be used. They are more effective in SIAD and hepatic cirrhosis and cardiac failure. Patients having hypovolumic hyponatremia or acute hyponatremia, in such patients, do not use Vaptans. Hypertonic saline. 3% NS is used to treat acute symptomatic hyponatremia. Sodium deficit is calculated by 0.6 into body weight into target plasma sodium concentration minus starting plasma sodium concentration. This 0.6 is meant for males. In females it is 0.5. In spite of this, we have to do the frequent measurement of sodium, because each person will respond differently. From one person to the other person, the response will be different. And do not correct by more than 8 to 10 milliequivalents per liter per day, and avoid overcorrection. This very important point: do not correct by more than 8 to 10 milliequivalents per liters per day, and do not over. Osmotic demyelination syndrome. There are various risk factors for osmotic demyelination syndrome: alcoholics, hypokalemia, malnutrition, overcorrection or rapid correction of serum sodium, and liver transplant patients. Chronic hyponatremia: if plasma sodium concentration is greater by 8 to 10 milliequivalent liters within the first 24 hours and or by greater than 18 milliequivalents within the first 48 hours, there is high chances of development of osmotic demyelination syndrome. Now, what is this due to? There is a reaccumulation of osmotic osmolytes by brain with cells, which is decreased and delayed, and due to this there is a degenerative loss of oligodendrocytes. Rapid correction leads to disruption of blood-brain barrier, and because of the disruption of blood-brain barrier, it permits of entry of immune mediators which may contribute to further demyelination. And pons is the most common structure of the brain that is affected. It presents after 1 or more days of rapid correction. It has got various clinical manifestations such as paraparesis, quadriparesis, dysphagia, dysarthria, diplopia, and loss of consciousness. These are all due to the affection of the pons primarily. Besides this, osmotic demyelination syndrome may be seen in other structures of the brain, such as the cerebellum, lateral geniculate body, thalamus, putamen, cerebral cortex, or subcortex. Depending upon which organ is affected, the patient may present ataxia, mutism, Parkinsonism, dystonia, or catatonia. Overcorrection treatment. Now, sometimes what happens, the sodium is overcorrected, patient sodium goes up to more than 150 milliequivalents per liter. So, after overcorrection, you re-lower the sodium by giving half saline, and it may decrease the effects of osmotic demyelination syndrome in the patients on whom rapid correction has been done.